If you're taking the March SAT, listen up, because this video is your golden ticket. The 10 hardest SAT prediction questions, the ones that rack so many students every single year. And I spent the last 3 months analyzing the last 3 years SAT data, tracking every single SAT trend, decoding College Board updates. And the best part is that I've put together a free worksheet with every single strategy that you need. In 1954, something happens that changed the world forever. A man named Dr. Jonas Salk develops the first polio vaccine, a single discovery, a single breakthrough. Millions of lives were saved. But here's the real question. How do we measure the impact of this man's work? Medical researchers argue that Salk's contribution to eradicating polio is the vaccine's mass immunization campaigns and the dramatic collapse of polio cases worldwide. So let's break this down step by step. So the answer is right in front of you. So step number 1 is thinking before you look. So first, pause, take a deep breath. What's the passage really saying? So Jonas Salk made a vaccine. That vaccine didn't just help, it wiped polio off the map in most of the world. And his contribution is obviously connected to this massive success. Now, before even looking at the answer choices, now I want you to ask yourself, well, is Salk's contribution irrelevant, criticized, or hidden? Think about this. No, it's not clear as day. So, step number 2 is eliminating the nonsense answer choices. Look at the options. Some of them are ridiculous. And let's have a look at choice A, irrelevant to. Are you joking? The vaccine saved millions of lives. Of course, his contribution is relevant. So let's eliminate choice A. Choice B, criticized by. Criticized? Who is even criticizing a man who literally helped eradicate a disease? So this choice is wrong. Choice D, obscured by. Obscured? No, his work isn't hidden. It's in the history books, right? So we can eliminate choice D as well. Now, if you have a look at choice B, evident in, bingo. Salk's contribution is clearly seen in the success of the vaccine. The streets of Manhattan are a war zone. Not for humans, and no. For pigeons, for rats, for every creature that is desperately fighting for the survival in a city that never sleeps. You think New York is just buildings and people? That's completely wrong. It's an ecosystem, a battlefield. Every single square inch of the space is contested. The competition is so brutal. And in the middle of this chaotic struggle, we have one crucial word, which is claim. What does it even mean? It's not some legal document or it's not some peaceful negotiation. No one is politely stepping aside and saying, "Oh, excuse me, Mr. Rat, this spot is yours." No. It's the fight, it's survival, it's about who gets to stay and who gets pushed out. So, which answer choice captures this sort of ruthless energy? Let's kind of break them down. So, starting with choice A, declare. Declare ownership of. It sounds really fancy, right? Like a king sitting on a throne saying, "I declare this land mine." But we're not talking about royalty. We're talking about rats and pigeons battling for scraps. So this choice is wrong. Choice B, demands compensation for. What? Who's getting paid? Like, a rat isn't walking into a court saying, "I demand financial compensation." No. It's not saying that. So we can literally eliminate this choice as well. Now let's have a look at choice C, reserve exclusively for. This choice looks like they are booking an Airbnb reserved from this ledge from 3 p.m. to 6 p.m. No, this is not a reservation system, so this choice is wrong. Now let's have a look at choice D, compete to obtain. Yes, yes, yes. This is the war. This is competition. This is the very essence of what's happening on these streets. Every bird, every rodent is fighting for its place, for its food, for its survival. And this is the correct answer choice. So the final answer is choice D, compete to obtain. If you don't get this prediction question right, you will stay stuck and you will keep getting the same mediocre scores, the same frustrating results, the same feeling of why am I not improving? So let me show you how to solve this SAT prediction question. So step number 1 is looking at the question again slowly. So we are not just finding an answer. What we are doing is that we are finding the answer. So let's read it again. Feel it. What's this actually asking? So it's not asking for a fact, and it's asking for a function of what the underlined sentence is, and it's asking what the underlined sentence is doing in the passage. So the second step is reading the passage, but this time with awareness. So when studying the behavior of wild wolves in Yellowstone National Park, researchers observed a striking change in pack dynamics after the reintroduction of wolves to the area. Shifting from their solitary hunting practices to highly organized cooperative hunting strategies, the wolves began to take down larger prey with greater efficiency. This behavior, influenced by environmental pressures, allowed the wolves to survive in an ecosystem that previously struggled with a lack of predators. Do you see it? The first sentence sets up the big change. The underlying sentence zooms in on that event. And the last sentence explains why it matters. And that middle sentence is elaborating. It's giving the details that make the change real. So the next step is predicting before looking at the answer choices. And I will tell you this right now. Smart test takers predict first. And if you just jump to the answer choices, you get trapped. So your brain latches onto whatever sounds real good in answer choices. But if you already know what you're looking for, then you can smell the right answer. What is our prediction then? So the underlined sentence is adding detail to the previous one. It's giving a clear picture of the change in hunting strategies. So the next step is destroying the wrong answer choices. So let's go one by one. Choice A, it elaborates on the previous sentence statements about a change in the wolves' hunting strategies. Oh, this matches our prediction exactly. Choice B, it provides information about how the ecosystem evolved in support of a claim about wolf behavior advanced in the following sentence. Nope, this isn't about the ecosystem evolving. That's just background info in the last sentence. Choice C, it recounts a moment in the wolf's adaptation process that ensured the survival of their species, which is summarized in the following sentence. It sounds a little fancy but strong. The sentence isn't about a moment, it's just explaining the behavior. Choice D. It presents evidence that challenges the previous sentence characterization of Wolfpack dynamics. What? There is no contradiction. The sentence is supporting the first one, not challenging it. So the final step is locking in the answer. So the final correct answer choice is choice A. That's it. That's how you dominate this type of SAT question. Now, if you're still hesitating, if you're still doubting yourself, ask yourself this. Are you actually applying these steps when you practice? So, or are you just skimming the answer choices and hoping for the best? This is an SAT structure question, and you know what that means. They're not asking for what the passage says, they're asking how is this passage built. Think of it like architecture, like dissecting a blueprint. The first line, a question, and it pulls you in. It makes you wonder, why do sunflowers tilt but oaks don't? Then the passage offers a theory, a possible answer. It introduces oxen, it explains the difference, it tells us why one plant moves and the other stays still. So, what's the structure here? It's question, then answer. So, that's it. Simple, direct, and clean. Now, let's destroy the wrong answer choices one by one. Choice A, the text compares the growth patterns of two plant species, then explains how those patterns are affected by environmental changes. No. The passage does compare two plants, sure, but where is the part about environmental changes? Nowhere, not a single mention. So choice A is wrong. Choice B, the text presents a theory about two species, then discusses facts that weaken the theory. Weaken the theory where the whole passage supports the theory. It's not questioning it, so we can eliminate choice B as well. Choice C, the text poses a question about two species, then presents a possible answer. Yes. That's exactly what happens. Keep this one. Now choice C. The text describes a behavior shared by two species, then discusses other behaviors shared by them. Shared behaviors? No, these two plants are so different. One moves, one doesn't. So this choice is completely wrong. The correct answer is choice C because it's simple. And that is how you analyze SAT structure questions. You break it down, you look at the blueprint, and you choose the answer that actually fits, not the one that just sounds smart. Now, go apply this method in every SAT structure question that you see, and watch how easy those questions are gonna become. So the first step is reading the question. Here is the question. Which choice best states the main purpose of the text? Pause right here. This is where most people mess up. Main purpose questions are not about random details, they are about one thing. Why did the author write this? Think of it like a text from a friend. What are they really trying to say? What is their main point? That's what we need to figure out. So the next step is reading the text. Popular systems are that solar panels and wind turbines dominate renewable energy discussions because they've changed global markets. Lesser known systems are the ones that says wave energy converters could also be crucial in fighting climate change. And a key point here is that unlike solar and wind, wave energy is still untapped, but it has huge potential for large-scale energy production. So the next step, step number 3, is predicting the answer choice. All right, so let's break this down. The first part, which is solar and wind energy, they're already famous. They are the celebrities of renewable energy. And the second part talks about wave energy, the underrated underdog. But scientists think it could be huge. The author isn't listing some problems. They're not saying wave energy is better than solar and wind. They're just shining a spotlight on wave energy's potential. So what is our prediction? Our prediction is that the passage is explaining why wave energy is an exciting and promising field in renewable energy research. So the next step, step number 4, is analyzing the answer choices. Now, let's go full on these 4 answer choices. Choice A, to describe the technological challenges faced by wave energy systems during development. Nope, the passage never talks about problems or struggles. If this were a boxing match, this option wouldn't even be in the ring. So we can eliminate this choice. Choice B, to present reasons why renewable energy researchers consider wave energy systems to be promising. Yes, this is exactly what we predicted, and the passage hypes up waves energy's potential and says why scientists are excited about it. So let's keep this choice locked in. So choice C, to compare the efficiency of wave energy systems with that of solar and wind energy. Nah, there is no wave energy is 27% more powerful. Like, nonsense here. The passage isn't comparing efficiency, it's just explaining waves energy's potential. And we can eliminate this choice. Choice D, to argue that wave energy systems are more effective at reducing emissions than solar or wind energy. Absolutely not. The passage isn't making an argument. No one is saying wave energy is the champion of renewables. So we can eliminate this choice as well. So the next step, step number 5, is deciding on the final answers. So the best choice here is choice B, to present reasons why renewable energy researchers consider wave energy systems to be promising. Now, I want to give you some tips to approach these types of questions. So the first tip is think big picture. Don't get lost in these small details. Instead, zoom out. Ask, why did the author write this? Step number 1, reading the text carefully. The text is about a study where Dr. Marcus Reyes is looking at how exercise affects the release of endorphins, the feel-good chemicals in your brain. And here's the key part. Low-intensity cycling doesn't really do much for endorphins. High-intensive cycling, boom, endorphins spike. But here's the most important part. Heart rates didn't go past a certain level. So Dr. Reyes didn't think the increase in endorphins came from physical strain. Instead, she thinks it was the intensity of the exercise that caused the endorphins to release more. So the heart rate finding is important because it helps Dr. Reyes figure out why the endorphins were increased. Without it, he might have thought that increased endorphins were just from physical strain. Now, the next step is predicting our answer choice. All right, so let's predict. Here's what we need to know. The heart rate not going past a certain level is super important because it rules out that the endorphins were released just from physical effort. And this means the heart rate finding is crucial because it shows the increase in endorphins was due to intensity and not the physical effort, which, let's be honest, we all know is sometimes overrated, right? So based on this, I predict the answer is going to have something to do with ruling out an alternative explanation for the endorphin increase. So the next step, step number 3, is analyzing the answer choices. Now let's go through each answer choice really carefully. And we have to be like kind of you're picking the best ice cream flavor from the freezer. You always choose the right one, right? Right. So choice A, it provided a preliminary evidence that endorphin levels increase during high intensity cycling. Nope. The passage already told us the endorphins increase during high intensity cycling. The heart rate finding isn't giving us that information. It's telling us why the increase happened. So we can literally eliminate this choice. Choice B. It suggested that changes in endorphin release may occur during both high and low intensity exercise. Oh no. This isn't what the passage is saying. It doesn't suggest that low intensity exercise causes endorphin increases. It's focusing on high intensity exercise. So we can delete this one too. So choice C, it ruled out a potential alternative explanation for the increase in endorphin levels during high intensity cycling. Bingo, this is exactly what the passage is saying. The heart rate didn't go past a certain level, so the increase in endorphins couldn't be from physical strain, as Dr. Rians was able to rule that out, and this is the right answer. Choice D. It clarified that endorphin release during exercise dependent on participants' individual fitness levels. Nope. We didn't talk about individual fitness levels in the passage. The study didn't focus on that at all. We can toss this one away. So the next step is deciding on the final answer. And the correct answer choice is choice C. It ruled out an alternative explanation for why the endorphins increase during high intensity cycling. The heart rate finding also helped it explain that it was the intensity, not the strain, that caused that increase.